talking about the fatherhood of God. You know, when you want to learn something, you go to the first person, or in life, when we talk about mentoring, mentoring is about learning from someone who has gone ahead of you. Mentoring is about learning from someone who you willingly submit to learn how the person succeeded or functioned in a particular act. So when we talk about father, you will discover that the issue of father is not something that you rehearse. You just find yourself in a situation where you become a father by force. There's no either first or second chance of learning how to be a father. You get married, babies start coming, and you have no choice than to start learning how to be a father by force. Most women, I think they learn how to be a mother somehow, because if you see them from young age, they start learning how to carry babies. But being a father is something you learn without rehearsing. And I'm sorry for some of us who didn't grow up with their father. Because had it been you grew up with your father, I'm not saying every father, a father that was really a father, you would have learned one or two things. So, when we find ourselves in situations where we are forced to be a father, you discover that we either learn through our mistakes or we learn as we are going. And you discover that some mistakes we make, they are not, if I say recoverable. Some mistakes we make, they become so damaging that there's nothing anyone can do. Some can be repaired. So this morning, being the Father's Day, I just want us to look at the first, if I call it, God himself, who is our Father. How he functioned. How he was able to father all of us, the whole universe. And he did not break down. So I'm going to look at some principles, because in life, somebody might not give you money. But just the greatest thing you can learn from someone is to observe the principles that undergird the person's activities. If you can learn it, it will carry you for the rest of your life. This morning, I was thinking about a bishop, thinking about when I met him, and I discovered that I learned a lot of principles from him. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's the principles that you learn and you are willing to apply that will take you far. So God himself allowed Moses to write the book of creation, book of Genesis. Why was the book of Genesis written? You see, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And what for? Why are you writing it? All those stories were written in order for us to observe how he, God, brought about everything that we're seeing today. So this morning, as he was the first father, I want us to study it in the first and second service. We'll be looking at these principles in order to help us to function as a father as it regards to our situation. Somebody say good amen. Book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 6. I think it's good that we have this lockdown, because I will learn to be reading for myself. People reading for me, it's like at times they come, at times they're on strike. So I need to learn, because lockdown has taught a lot of people how to live, manage by themselves. Somebody say good amen. Now, Malachi chapter 1 verse 6 says, a son honors his father, a servant his master. If I am the father, where is my honor? If I am a master, where is my reverence? Says the Lord of hosts. Let me stop there. So you can see that phrase. God said, if I am the father, where is my honor? So God himself sees himself as a father. And one scary thing about fatherhood or being a father is when you, as a boy, some years ago, is now a father, and you see yourself that you are not just a man or what, a father, but there are older people, or you have children that are looking up to you, that their success, what they will become in life, would depend on you. Whether they will be wayward or whether they will become useful will be dependent on how you mirror yourself before them. So you discover it's not just a light thing, it's a tremendous, it's a tremendous thing. Yes, it's not that always, all the time, when you are there, that they will not be wayward. But at least your presence in their life speaks volume. So when you see it from that angle, that you are not just, if I call it that, it's not just a name that they call you a father. No. But there's a lot of responsibilities that goes with this, your new assignment. That people's lives would depend on it. If it will go well, it will hinge on how you conduct yourself. If you go bad, it will also depend on how you carried yourself. So when you have an understanding of such enormous responsibility, it will force you to either choose to be a good father or an ignorant, I don't want to use that word stupid father, but I know you're not stupid. There's no stupid father here. So when you have got a sense of such responsibility, or you understand that there's a lot on your shoulder, it will not but force you to become a responsible father, not just a sperm donor, because we have a lot of sperm donor. We have runaway fathers. I know you're not part of them in the name of Jesus. Book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, because there are things, not just being a father, because people's destiny hinges on your shoulder. By so doing, there are some things you bequeath or you transfer or you give to them, just like book of Proverbs chapter 13, 22 says, a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. Now, a good man there means a father. So there's something as a father that you must, not may, you must. It becomes your primary responsibility that you bequeath, you live for your family. So, we'll be looking at those things because you are not just a father just to be seen in the family shouting at people, intimidating everyone. There must be something that you know with a good understanding that you are transferring to this family, that you are the head. Most times I see men say, oh, don't you know I'm the head of the family? Really? It depends on the type of head you are. It depends on what? The type of head. Now, book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 says something. And God formed the man. Remember, we're looking at the fatherhood of God. We want to see how God himself functioned. Then it will help us to know how we ought to function as fathers in the house. In the name of Jesus. And God formed man. And reading, I'm blessed. Just bear with me. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils with the breath of life, and man became a living being. Now, God formed man, And we later know that that man's name was what? Adam. So my question is here, how did Adam get that name? Adam we know means man. Because of our time, I might not read everything, but if you read, you see, God planted the garden, God put man there, made sure everything that man would need was in the garden. Then from 15, God put man, from 15, then the Lord God took the man and put in the garden of Eden to tend and keep. Please watch it. When God formed man and put him in the garden that has got every supply that man will need, God did not send him to go there to sleep or lazy around. God said, you must work. You must look after this garden. From this, you can teach a whole lot in, as regards to marriage, because a man's responsibility is to look after the home. Looking after the garden means a lot, is it not true? It involves trimming the trees, is it not true? It involves watering the trees, the flowers. It involves making sure that everything is in order. The same way, a man's responsibility in the house involves making sure that everything is in order. I don't want to say this because I know most men feel I support women. But I've got my reasons. Because it's your home. Even if you marry a mad woman, you married her. It's still your responsibility to make her to be sane. No, it's your responsibility. God won't ask the woman. It's your home. Because God said, tend the garden. Make sure the garden is looking nice. It's your responsibility. Don't say, my wife made me do this. No. So you can see there's a whole lot of responsibilities that God has put on man. Men, can you say good amen for me? You're not saying it very well. Men, can you say good amen for me? Now, let's start looking at the things that men transfers to their family. The first thing, just like I said, who gave Adam name? The first thing a man gives to his family is he gives his family his name. He gives his family what? His name. You can see that first principle. God applied it to his man Adam in Genesis chapter 2 verse 20. So Adam gives names. Adam gave names, I mean to say. Adam gave names. So the first thing God taught Adam is that you are going to transfer, you are going to give names to all these things that I created. The same way, without knowing it, a man gives his name to his family. Think about it. All of us seated here. You're bearing a name. That name you're bearing is either your father's name directly or either your grandfather's name. That name, you received it from the family where you are born into. Pastor Sam here answers Udubak. Yeah, who is Udubak? You can trace it from his father or his grandfather. The same way he has married now, he brought a girl called Mope. Am I getting it? Marawuzi. Now, the girl now has taken Udo back. Then they have children. Those children has taken what? Udo back. Is it not true? So a father has got a primary responsibility of giving names. And you know in life, names means a lot of things. Names are not just sound that we hear. Names means what? A lot of things. Just like book of Proverbs chapter 22 verse 1 said something, that a good name is rather to be chosen than riches. So names are not just what? Sound. What is a name? Let me just go through a few thoughts. A name is not just a sound that people respond to. Number one, a name carries an idea. A A name carries what? An idea. A name carries an image. When you hear Udobak, you now think of, you start imagining. A name carries an influence. There's a name you hear, you know, even if this door do not want to open, because this name is mentioned, that door must open. If you go to Zimbabwe now, you call Mugabe. Are you hearing me? It carries an influence. People that benefited from the regime of Robert Mugabe will ask you, do you belong to the family of, is it Rob? You say yes. They say, come in. There are certain people he mistreated. Immediately you mention Rob, but no, just mention Mugabe, not mentioning the face. Immediately their attitude towards you change. They start seeing the wickedness that the man perpetuated. So a name is an influence. It's not, carries an influence, I mean to say. It's not just a sound. So as a father, just know it that you are carrying a name now. That name, how are you going to treat it? How are you going to manage it? When your name is mentioned, what is it going to represent? Do you know that a name represents a brand? Yes, that's why people who've got names, they produce things, they call it Louis Vuitton. You are not buying the product, you're buying the name. They produce things, they name it one thing. People buy phone, they name it iPhone. Yeah, because it represents a brand. So as a father this morning, are you branding your name? I've seen people, when they want to open church, they ask me, can I come and dedicate it? No, why I don't go is because they want to put my name on what they are doing. They want to validate it, saying, oh, Pastor Daniel was there. It takes time to build name. Name don't just fall. That's why I said that to a father, you don't say, you know I'm the head of this family. No, you take time to build that trust that your family member can lean on it. I will still get to all this. So name represents a brand. That's why every company watch after their brand. They don't joke with it. No matter what you do, Coca-Cola will not sell their right to you. Hallelujah. So a name represents a name can represent either sincerity or dishonesty. I want you to know that. When a name is mentioned in someone's mind, is he seeing you as a crook or as a sincere person? A name may represent arrogancy or humility. When your name is mentioned, people look beyond that word and try to see what type of a person are you. All these are what fathers carry, but they don't know. Name represents laziness or someone that is industrious. When your name is mentioned, do they see you as a lazy about? Someone that does nothing. A woman called yesterday. He was talking to my wife. One of the things this woman was complaining that the husband is so lazy that he can't even lift up a broomstick. That she does everything and this man do not want to help. A name represents confidence or timidity. A name represents spirituality or carnality. Some of us know that names you will mention. You remember how the person used to be drunk and sleeps inside a gutter. Wake up the next morning. The story I heard when I was in Cape Town, that the person lived in Namibia. He was telling me that if you go to Namibia, you see people that are paid on Friday, they don't come back home till Monday morning. They slept in the bar. So you can see a name is not just a sound people respond to. It represents a lot of things. So this morning, fathers, I'm asking you, because without knowing it, you are transferring a name to an oncoming generation. Is that name you're transferring, is it going to be a liability or an asset? Do you know that's how when a name is mentioned, the child becomes embarrassed? Why am I associated with this name? Can you see what happened? This protest that triggered off in America. The policeman that, that they say that killed the guy. The wife immediately filed for divorce, trust Americans, and insisted on changing her name immediately. Because she do not want to be associated with something that will be a stigma to her. So it's important. Just like in a nation like this, if you call that you belong to Mandela, in fact, they hear your name carrying Mandela, that person will first of all trust you, whether you're a crook or not, because that name carries or has a lot of nobility attached to it. As a father this morning, I'm asking you, what is the name that you are going to bequeath to your children? I remember years back in my family, there's a notorious, in my country, I say family, there's a notorious criminal that came from certain state called Anini. Anybody in Nigeria, can you remember that name, Anini? So if they not just hear your name, Anini, they will add Osumbo. He's second in crime. He's second in command in the crime. They just call Anini, they add Osumbo. So now people, if they want to describe how bad you are, they call you, my dear, you're like Anini. So you can see what name is all about. My question to us this morning, fathers, is that what type of name are you going to put on your family? That woman you marry, remember she has changed her father's name and has taken a name. Is it going to be a name that is associated with sincerity or a name that is associated with dishonesty? A name that is associated with truth or a name that is associated with lies? A name that is associated with honor or a name that is associated with what? Dishonesty. So it's very important that as we conduct ourselves as fathers, let's not just think it's all about me. No. When you start having children, you lose the right to your own personal life. Just like when you marry, you start losing some of your rights. Some men has not grown to know when they marry, your wife is entitled to ask you, where are you coming from? It's like getting angry. Why are you asking me? Really? The first thing you must learn in marriage is accountability. What happened to the money? You say, is it not me? Is it not me who made the money? No, it's you who made it, but what happened to it? See, these are things men don't like hearing. Yeah, you made it, we know. But she is not asking you to give it to me. She's only asking, can you tell me what you did to it? Now, the second principle that we must learn from God himself is in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, it said, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The word created there shows us that we serve a God that works. A working God. The first introduction to this God in Genesis chapter 1, he created, which connotes he was doing something. We do not serve a lazy God. We serve a God that is a working God. It's important because the principle of work is something that as a person you must not joke with it, because the principle of work is God is going to define how your life will turn around or turn out to be as years goes by. I encourage you. Yes, everybody wants to avoid work. But the truth about life is that if you don't work, you end up being poor. No matter how you say, I confess, God is my source. He's going to bless what you do. Yes. There is no laziness in God. As a father, you must start inculcating that system in your home. I did it. That's what I did during the lockdown. Every day I carry my bag, I go to work. Because it's easy for me to lie down in the house, keep changing channel, and my wife will be watching me. My children will be watching me. But I was doing it because I want it to be part of my system. I heard from a man of God, he says that when God called him into ministry, in fact, people who were living around him thought that he was an attorney. Because every morning by 7 o'clock, he has dressed, put on his suit, he's going to work. So you can either make it a work, I'm talking about the work that I'm doing. I can either make it a work or I can either make it something that becomes a liability. From day one that I had that understanding, every day I tell myself I'm going to work. And the truth is that the person I'm working for will always pay me. Yeah, you didn't. Nobody pays me. God pays me. But for him to pay me, I must show him, I must, carry that mentality, that attitude that I'm working. That I'm working. I've also shared it with us. Some of us, even if you don't have a formal job, create a job in yourself. Wake up in the morning every morning. Dress up very well as if you're going to work. Because it's about mindset. Yes, it's easy to be on the bed till 9 o'clock. Be on the bed till 12. Your body behaves the way you train it. If you train your body to relax easy, it is easy. Your body will always want to say, why are you taking it too much? It's easy. It's important. We are serving a God that is a working God, not a lazy God. I told us how because I started training myself on this from day one when I got into ministry, into full-time ministry. The church where I was not a church. We were just under a canopy. But that did not stop me. Every morning I wake up and go and sit under that canopy. What am I doing? I'm reading my Bible. When God privileged me to start pastoring, I was in Cape Town. Remember, Bishop was not there. I would have said I won't open the church till when I feel like, the day of service, I'll open it. That's not true. I need to show myself that I'm working so that the person that I'm working for will pay me. What do I do? Every morning, 8 o'clock, as people are going to work, I've opened the church, dress, sit on the table with my Bible, because the Bible says, a laborer that laboreth is worthy of what? His wages. Not a title carrier. A laborer. I need to show that I'm working. And I thank God he has been paying me. Yeah. So we must inculcate that mindset of work, because that will determine what will be your future. Why is Africa? Let's put it this way. There was a time Chinese nation was as if it's a nonsense. But Chinese people has inculcated a work pattern. That's why people go to China to buy all manner of things. Why? Because they don't tell you, this is holiday. No. Even in the night, they are working. But they work 24 hours. They have become an industrial nation. Sorry if I'm going to use this example. I came to South Africa. The first thing that shocked me is, by 5, people are closing to go home. Even the person who has a spaza shop. You're closing. You're working for yourself. You're closing. I didn't get it. Now they're complaining that Somalians are taking over their business. Yes, Somalians, you will be there till 11 o'clock. In fact, it closed when there's no other person buying. I saw even people who are working for themselves, they say it's holiday. Just want to go home and be doing nothing. May God baptize us with spirit of work. That even when you're sleeping, you're thinking of what to do. Yes. White people, that's why in fact, when I was in Cape Town, the church was on top floor. I didn't know there was a mini factory under where we were. You never hear any pimp. The only time you know that there is people under that is on the ground floor is when there's tea break or what. You see a huge number of people, or when it's 5 o'clock, you see people going home. I kept wondering what is happening. One day, I went to go and peep. Do you know they were sewing? They were sewing something, and there are more than 100. But you won't hear peep noise. Put black people there. Hey, They will be chatting. And at the end, they say, we didn't do anything. That's why they can't meet up with deadlines. Because instead of working, they would prefer to talk. Watch where they are. That's why I go to government offices. Nothing works because they know nobody fires them there. Thank God for the owner of that business. I often see him, a white guy, he always wears shorts. He doesn't greet anyone. He's fast. Say, this is someone who is working. Some of us will count what we say we work. If we will say we are working, we want them to measure. What is it that we have really done? We'll discover you only just spend half minute doing that. Somebody say good amen. God is a working God. Man, you must know it, no matter what. It's important that you inculcate it in your system. Don't tell me you are not doing anything. Do something. I've often said it. I say, if I'm a man, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to look for where to wash car. There's a whole lot of things to do. Because it's when you start doing something, ideas start coming. I've often said it. You might think I'm joking. I say, if I'm a young man in this church, I'm not doing anything. They can suddenly say they have shop. I'll go and be carrying something for them. Because at the end, no matter what, they will give me something. Even if they say they don't want, I say, can I come and do it free? By the time you do it 2 days, they will, and their heart will start disturbing them. Has this person eaten? Yes. I don't know why. If we go to, let's take example, the same us here now, we go to America. I've gone to America. I've seen people who are there. What they do is to go and carry beans. You don't know what is called beans. Bag of things for people that has got the type of, they can stand in them shop. That's their work. They go to work every day. Some of them work in where they cut meat, butchery. And they are proud to say, oh, hi man, I'm in America. But when we come here, we feel we can't do it. There is dignity in labor. There's dignity in labor. There's no pride in not doing anything. I'll be looking at why men must work. There's no pride in it. Create something. I've often said, if God didn't call me to pastor, do you know I can drive? Yes, that one is a free gift God gave me. I can go and drive taxi. Because I need to provide something for my family. I can go and drive. You don't understand life. It's because you feel you're somebody. You're not anything when you don't have money. Money is the language the world understands. God showed us. That's why he said to Adam, you must tend, keep the garden. Man, the first thing you must imbibe is that I must work, no matter how small. No matter what it is. Let there's something you're doing. There's a lot of things I see people can do. You can go. There's one Nigerian guy I love so much. His name is Victor. He's now working with Investec. Yes. How did he start? He told me when he came here, there's nothing to do. But he started going to one computer shop. From there, he started learning the computer. From there, do you know, he started mastering it. From there, he started writing even certificate. He said he's a certified Microsoft what. He's an Apple one now. He started doing that. In that same field now, he's working with Investec. I met him while he was working in Apple. He didn't read anything computer in Nigeria. But life is about developing yourself. Doing something. Today now he's working in computer section of Investec. Do you know what the company called Investec? I know I met him while he was working in, what is it called? Apple Store. That's where we met. He was an Apple technician. From there, he has worked with Samsung. He has worked with all these computer firms. How did he start? He started by creating a work for himself. Why you lazy around and say there's nothing to do? Who are you going to blame? There's a lot of things to do. Attach yourself to someone. Leave big manism. Men, are you still here? Let's learn the principle. God worked. God didn't wish things to change and things changed. He worked them. The same way you need to work at things changing in your home in the name of Jesus. The next principle that I want us as connects to work is that as a man, you are the provider in your family. That's why men must work. Traditionally, we know that men are the ones to provide for the family. In my place, that's why they call women Oliak. You have come to eat. But thank God, these modern days, women work as well. Some women earn more money than men. That's why also our attitude to women must change. Some men they have accepted that a woman must work. But they have not changed their mentality and the way they treat women. Because that woman woke up by 5 and went to work. She need to cope with work pressure. She endured insult at work. When she comes back, why not welcome her very well? The deadlines, the crisis at work. She's looking for someone to share it with. When she comes back, why not even give her a cup of water and say, welcome, my dear, are you okay? When she comes back, your worry is that, have you cooked? But your hands are not broken, you can cook. These are little things you do to make life easy because life has changed. I say the things that I do, my wife can cook. I love eating her food. But knowing that she pastors, knowing the pressure that is in pastoring, it will be an utter wickedness that I get home now. Because if you're a pastor, you start preparing for Sunday from Friday, even from Thursday. It's a whole heavy work. Now I get home and say, that woman who must. Some men that are so traditional must prepare hot pap. It's not the one you prepared in the hot one, and it must be thick. Now you want to bring the argument. My mother used to do. Your mother was not working. Your mother was just a housewife. My mother used to do it for my father. But your mother was a housewife. Why not do the whole work, bring the money, let the woman start home? Now, if you come back, she did not do it, then you have reasons to complain. But we're in these modern days, women go to work, they go to hustle like men. We should also accommodate them. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Some women earn more money than men, but that the woman is earning more money than you, a man, should not make you to be lazy. Yes, thank God for her. Thank God for her income. We appreciate it. But that ought not to make you to be lazy, man. You need to go out and find your own money. Because book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8 says something. If anyone does not provide for his own, especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith, number one, and is worse than an unbeliever. Can you see? I didn't write the Bible. So the family needs money to survive. So when you claim to be the head of the family, be the head of everything. Why men must work? Number one, it's for your pride. No matter how anointed a woman is, no matter how sanctified, no matter how Holy Ghosted the woman is, no matter how she speaks in tongues, no matter how smoke of the Spirit is coming from her nose, the woman will insult you if she sees that she's the only one providing and you're there only changing the remote, changing the stations. Your respect will start dwindling without knowing. She can enjoy it for a while. That's their nature. Hallelujah. It's for your pride. It's important. Let it be that at least you give some money for some things. Yes. They are buying children's stationaries. Your wife says going to buy it. They'll say, "Hula, thank God, praise Jesus, the Lord is moving." Say, add 50 rand and say, add to this stationery. If you have it. I'm saying if you have it. But let it be God and his wife know you don't have it. That's why you must go and try to get something to add. It's for your pride. Number two, it's for your confidence. Men start dying. You see, what people don't know is that men die. Men start dying when they don't bring anything home. So your confidence is restored. When you see yourself, you bring something to the table. I also don't understand some men. They're okay. Your wife pay house rent. Your wife buy food. Your wife do this. Your wife do that. And it's not bothering you. I'm not talking about when it bothers you. Are you hearing me? I appreciate you and God knows that. So it's for your confidence, man. Please. I understand when you don't have. God himself and God and his wife understand that you're trying. But I'm talking about people who are relaxed. They feel it's a norm. The men like that, they feel it's a norm. It's a normal thing. Then also it's for your honor. It's for your honor. That you are there and you know, as long as I'm alive, my children will not beg for bread. You do your best to bring something to the table. It's for your honor. Let it be. Your hands are dirty because you are doing your best to make sure that as long as I'm alive, that these children will not beg for bread. That's what makes you a man. Are you getting what I'm saying? My advice is for us, start now to think. I see some men, they love themselves more than their family. They rather buy nice clothes to wear. How the family manage, they don't care. Really. A real man gets to a point in his life, it's no longer about himself. It's about these kids. It's about their future. It's about their education. It's important that as you celebrate Father's Day, think in line with these few thoughts that I'm bringing your way. Think about it. God himself sets a principle. That's why he provided for his man Adam. He gave him the garden. Even he made sure he married for him. That's how a father thinks. Think on that path. Don't just be a father for being a father, bullying everyone in the house. Maybe in the second service I'll be talking about atmosphere. But I'm going to stop here. But I really want us to know that as a father, it's our responsibility to provide.